Place called Philippi. And you know Philippi? No? Yeah, right. So I was born here, and I went back in 2014 after a very long time. There's some photos that I took. I lived there for 6 years of my life. My parents worked there. For more information, we actually have a Philippi Facebook page. So put it in your phone and like the page and thing, and you see pictures and stuff from Philippi.
I am Philip from Philippi.
Right? And so I'm Philip from
Philippi.
Yeah. It's coming slowly. You get to it. It's far. So Mike, turn the lights down low a little bit.
Turn the lights down low.
Like Uncle Trina sing that song, 1, 2, 3.
Turn the lights down low.
That's especially this side. Mother here and my father here. My mother just delivered me. And this is me somewhere there in the arms of, this is Doris Wall. She's a very popular nurse in that region there. She died 2 days ago, by the way, in the US, yeah. And I don't know who this guy is, but he got some nice legs. Yeah, so that was me. So you see him on top of the water there and thing, you know. The reason is that the social studies department is here, and they may be judging me for my dates. If my dates stuff don't go right. You know, one of the nice things that I discovered is this whole notion of the Guyanas, and it tells me that Guyana, as we know it now, we were a part of a bigger land mass, so to speak, before the Europeans came. And when they came, they found the Amerindians here. If you're an Amerindian and proud, raise your hands up. Let me see you. If you identify as Amerindian, raise your hands up. I see a couple. I see a couple of you. I see a couple of you. And when they came here, it was primarily the Arawaks and the Caribs that were very dominant and very out there. Why I raised the issue of the Amerindians in the first people on this road to independence is because I want us to start to do some introspection. I want us to start to think about how much do we pay homage to who we are really. How much do we pay homage to those that were here before us? How much do we put? And I'm happy to say that from my little time here, I noticed that we're doing stuff for the renewed curriculum. I noticed that we're doing stuff with indigenous languages, and that's a good thing. Put your hands together for that. Yeah, that we're still able to focus on that. And because all of you here sit in a position of power, and I want you to start to see your independence a little bigger than what it just is on this day. I want you to see that you have the power to make policies that can affect the way our children see each other. And that's the whole gist of this conversation today. So the British in 1831, they merged the Demerara, Essequibo, and Berbice, and then they call it British Guyana. So the British were in charge. At the time, 1945, of all the British colonies, and Guyana was ahead. So we were ahead in politics. Because it says something, it says that we got potential. Geographically, where we're located, we don't get natural disasters. The only natural disaster we got is the ones that Yellow's make. It's man-made, it's our own. Our natural disaster is ourselves. It's a sad point to talk about on this road to independence, but it's a fact. And if you and I, if we don't understand how we have curtailed our development, then we are prone to make those mistakes again. And you might say, this is Philip talking things that is very political and very out there. But if you understand the fact that we all here, we are a microcosm of the bigger society, then we understand that the change we want to see in the bigger society begins
With us.
right here with us, and it begins in our departments. Right to that person that you said you don't like. Right there it begins. And I said this is unsettling because it's a trend that we've had. You know, we talk about one Guyana now, but we gotta understand where we came from. And we were always in conflict heading up to Independence Day. So, our conflict, our natural disaster, as I call it, really revolves around our political allegiance and our ethnic issues. But this is it. This is all that we have as a problem. That's all that we got. That we don't like Matty. We don't like one another. That's the only problem we got. If we can get past this thing that we don't like each other at certain times, then there's nothing stopping us. Sometimes I feel like there's no disaster, so let's create one. You know? Short story before I end. 1962, 1963, I understand the PPP had won 2 consecutive elections under different constitutional arrangements under the watch of the British. But at this point, now let's just take this for face value. Here is the UK saying, hey, you guys are going to be independent. You're going to be your own country. Yeah. You'll get your own stuff. But we could not agree at this point because of what? In the red, what it says?
Ethnic division.
Ethnic divisions. And so this has been this has been plaguing us for a long time. It's been plaguing us even on the way to our freedom or owning our own place. And so we say, we can get along. So there was 3 political parties there. So we can get along. So here's what we're going to do. Let me ask the British to help us. Let us bring this back home now. In our situations in departments and in our offices, sometimes we need intervention. But intervention only comes when there's a lack or an inability for us to put aside our egos and sit as adults and find a resolution. And as we look in history, it's written here right now, and we see the same thing continue. So we asked the British to help us. You know what they said? The British said, okay, we're going to give you a proportional representation system, and that means, whoever got enough, the enough people. And so the coalition, so there was a coalition with PNC and TUF, and so the PPP was ousted, and the coalition was there. But here's the thing. So their intervention had to do with their own agenda as well. What was happening in the world at the time? There was the USSR versus the USA. There was the Cuban crisis. And the West says, we don't want another party or a country to rise up close to us that is based on socialism or communism. And so we had to engineer a circumstance, engineer a system that takes them out of power and bring a government who who will be more loyal to us, etc. So this is history we're talking about. This is all of what's happening as we headed to independence. But these are valuable lessons that we can take now and apply now. Read that for me, please.
As an educator, I must be able to remove myself from my political persuasions and see the bigger picture of building Guyana.
And it's so easy to read it, but then is it easy for us to do? Can we pull ourselves out from ourselves, look at ourselves, and look at the situation and make decisions based on the bigger picture? What is the bigger picture? Ask yourself that question. What is your bigger picture? Why are you here? Why am I here? Why are you in your department? What is the overarching outcome or purpose? when that new coalition won, they went ahead to plan independence. But then when they planned independence, the party that lost said, no, we're not going to do any of our plans, so we can boycott. So for us, these days we talk about cancel, but the cancel culture been around for a long time. You know, if we're not a part of it, we can walk out, we're not going to contribute. This is politics, this is history, but think about your department, think about NCERD. As the story went on, we gained independence. Congratulations, everybody. We are independent and free. And so the British people pack up the stuff and they gone and they left you. And it's like, you got to deal with whatever y'all got to deal with. We done with y'all. We wash your hands. If y'all gonna fight, don't fight this y'all story.